What are the teachings of Buddha you will definitely tell others to follow?
The most important thing is to be kind and thoughtful.
When you say that everything is perspective,
Normally what we do is when somebody's tortured you or disappointed you, we never try to understand what's behind that behavior. No one to be blamed. What's the point of blaming anyone?
if we talk this way, then we have to forgive every person who do wrong things.
It's not the person who did wrong to you is to be forgiven. It's you.
How do you see money?
Money is to be used in order to materialize certain needs that are there. But then when money is not utilized properly, it invokes greed in people. Greed actually leads towards finding ways how I can get that money right on the wrong way.
A lot of people must come for advice that we are going to this sorrow and this thing.
The difficulties, the challenges really brings the most beautiful creativity out of you. Until and unless you're squeezed, you will not look for the alternatives.
Do you think that everything happens and destiny is already planned and everything happens for a reason?
Day happens as it has to happen, night happens as it has to happen. But then it's all up to us how we make the best use of things that are. So it depends.
And love, first of all, thank you for being part of Impact Stories.
My pleasure. Welcome to Nepal.
Thank you so much.
I hope Nepal is treating you well.
If you are here, then everything is good. First of all, already a lot of people must be knowing this thing, but my audience is very different and new. So I just want to know how this all began.
The whole thing as in what?
How
the singing part or the
that's
part and
the
everything.
very latest stage thing.
Okay.
How all started, why you ran away from the family, why it was so toxic that it was necessary for a child to run away. So why this all? Because I think destiny play all the part. So where this destiny started from?
I think I'm no different to any other people. We all wish not to suffer in life, right? Nobody enjoys pain when it is not asked for. So same way, I mean, even though I was a young girl, I could not bear the pain and especially the emotional pain more than the physical pain. It was very hard to bear. There's domestic violence, which is very common in our part of the world as well as in India. I'm quite
Same,
sure.
I've gone through this thing, so I can understand.
Yeah, so violence is something what we, not only human being, but any being cannot enjoy. Whether that is in the form of physical violence or verbal violence or emotional violence, So same thing, I could not take it. And I think I was quite a strong-minded, even though I was a young girl. I looked for an alternative. And the whole idea of the fear that was being driven by is the idea of having to get married someday. That also a man who will be chosen by my father. And I wasn't sure about how good taste he has. So, and then the whole idea of marriage that I could see was my mom and dad's married life, which was not pleasant at all. So I really was so scared about it, even to think about it. And then at the same time, the most difficult and most painful, emotionally very hard to bear was to witness my mom being beaten up right in front of you and you being not able to do anything. That helpless moment is very, very hard, really, and especially for a child. Very, very difficult. So I wanted to escape that. And all the time I used to think about it. When I realized that I have an option to escape was when I realized I can become a nun. The sole reason for me to choose to become a nun was only to not get married in my life. If I don't get married in my life means no suffering in life. That's what I translated that into. So I chose that. Yeah.
So, but again, if you talk about me, same thing. I went through the ugliest phase of my life, but I couldn't run because I don't wanted to leave behind my mom that way. So I'm just asking, there's a moment in your life where you feel like being selfish and run away. Was it?
Actually, it was my mom's wish as well. When I expressed my desire, and then she said, yeah, it was her who gave me the idea to become a nun, that I can become a nun if you really don't want to get married in life. So, yeah, I did that.
What do you think about marriage now? Is it a good
Well,
idea?
it's
Somebody
it's
asked,
it's,
come
it's
for the.
individual's choice, but it's not a necessary thing. I don't know. I don't think that it's something that is so important.
Do people come for advice on the marriage also?
Think I'm the wrong person to be asked about, because I have a different perception regarding marriage, Well, and I'm also not in the position to judge what is right and wrong in terms of marriage thing.
When you say that everything is perspective,
Yes, it's a perspective thing, but you see, it's not necessary to have the same kind of experience for everyone. I mean, you probably, even though you went through the domestic violence and so on, now your perception towards the marriage is different from mine, right? So it's okay. It's okay. But then any experience, now, for example, at this age and stage of life, I'm at a understanding that no one to be blamed, really. What's the point of blaming anyone? The reason why I say this is because normally what we do is when somebody's, not kind to you or has been brutal in your life, tortured you or made you feel very humiliated or disappointed you, we never ask what could be the reason behind how he behaves or she behaves. We never try to understand what's behind that behavior. And I did the same thing. I immediately judged my dad to be the most evil person in my life. But with the help of my Guruji, I was able to understand him better.
and what was the understanding?
He went through a violent, very, very violent childhood himself. He and his mother was brutally tortured, abused by his stepfather. And he was living the trauma. He couldn't heal himself. So his trauma actually traumatized us too. But he didn't do it out of intentionally, to torture us because he really enjoyed doing that. He didn't. But he was helpless too.
If we'll talk this way, then we have to forgive every person who do wrong thing.
Yes, that's the only way. That's the only way we can heal each other. Only love can heal. Only understanding can heal. Only compassion can heal. And that's how I have been healed today, really. Violence is not the answer to violence.
It's easy to say, but I think it's very difficult to.
It's easy said than done, as I said earlier. I understand, but it's not impossible. It is possible. Even though you might think that you are forgiving someone else, but actually you are freeing yourself from that incident that took place few decades ago in your life. That's done and gone. But you live with it. You cherish it as if you have a treasure box with you. Occasionally you just open it up, look at it, and then self-pity and, waste your time and energy, saying to yourself, how sad I am. I had a worse life. Oh my God. And then you put it back and then you put it aside, as if this is something very precious thing. What is done, gone, gone? Done. What's next? What did you learn from it? Obviously, you didn't enjoy that pain and violence. And you are very clear that you don't like violence. And you also should be very clear in your mind that nobody else is loved the violence. Even the worst person who is considered to be the most brutal and not kind person, he doesn't like to be treated bad. He also desires for love. That's the biggest truth on earth. So, if you don't deserve to be in pain and abuse, then the person who abused you also doesn't deserve to be in pain because he doesn't desire for it. But unfortunately, he's in such a under control of that trauma that he went through. If you are sick, you need help, not punishment. So
I have tried many times to make peace with my past and to forgive people who have done something wrong.
no,
but
see,
which is,
this is how you count it in the wrong way or calculate it or diagnose it in the wrong way. It's not the person who did wrong to you is to be forgiven. It's you who has been holding on to it for too long.
how to let it go.
It is done, gone. Now look for something that what you really are inside. You're holding on to something that is not meaningfully useful. Actually, it's burning you. It's destroying you. Your past is destroying your present, your future, and everything. But on the contrary, you desire for happiness in life. But what you're trying to achieve, your happiness, is exactly the opposite what you should be doing, should not be doing. So I think it's all about becoming very emotionally intelligent. Punishment is not the ultimate answer to all the wrongs that has went.
But don't you think if this would have been the idea, then God would have created only good people on the planet?
Well, as a Buddhist, we don't believe in something that is externally there who created me besides my mom and dad. We believe in karma. What you ate yesterday is going to define your health condition today, right? So what you did as in your karma yesterday is going to define your today's karma, situation.
And who's keeping the check?
That's it's an auto mode. There's no such thing as an accountant who will keep your account book. Your karma book is that it's its own self-automated mode. So don't worry about it.
This we say, but if there's nobody to keep the check, then we can only say that karma will do something. And what who knows? Who knows?
Oh, you will experience that, definitely. Definitely. So you believe that there was a yesterday, right? Yes. Yesterday's experience has made the difference for today. Your plan from yesterday has defined many of the things that happens today. Pretty much what you do today. And your plan for tomorrow is going to define pretty much of what you're going to do tomorrow, right? So that's how it is. Life continues, experience continues, karma continues. That's how I believe, actually.
But I do feel that only from suffering you can grow. Only through suffering you can grow.
Suffering is what? What is suffering? That is very important for you to define, As I said earlier, it's very simple, actually. What is suffering?
The tough time you go through.
Yes. Your tough time, sometimes you pursue for it, right? But if you pursue for it in a very wrong misconception or a wrong idea of that, what you are pursuing for, with a procedure that is not gonna take you there, then you're in a delusion, right? You're misguided or misled, I guess. But then I think we human are very intelligent being. In fact, to be honest, I mean, among all the other creatures, we are the most intelligent one. So we know how to see things, how things are happening, functioning, or can be done. Yeah, our intelligence are there. That's the most beautiful part of being born as a human being. We have this chetana, Yeah. We are chetanshil, aware, then we will see things clearly.
I was always used to wonder why Buddhists wear this color of.
I don't know it either, actually. Maybe this is a color that was available in Tibet during those days, because different places the Buddhists wears different colors. In Thailand, it is saffron color.
Do you know why I asked this question? So yesterday I was walking through the market and I asked somebody next to me, I want to buy in such clothes and want to wear it for tomorrow. They said, no, it is an officially, you have to be someone. Yes. So that means.
It's like a uniform, I think. But then, of course, I did hear somewhere said by some senior beings, I mean, senior masters. They said the saffron color is the color of autumn when the leaves fall. So it reminds them of impermanence. So they're symbolic things, It's symbolic things.
Why you said that in today's generation people are too pressurized?
They take too much pressure. That's how I feel. They're so like functioning as in a machine, how they've been programmed. The way they should be, the standard life of a person who is special should be carrying certain kind of a design, mobile or a bag or a shoes or a watch or whatever, So they're so much under pressure of being validated to be special or accepted. So they're so misguided, I feel. Unnecessary headache. And this is coming from my experience and maturity. And maybe if you're young, if I was back in my 20s, probably I'm similar. I probably would have been curious about different.
It's a perception.
It's a perception. You see, today I carry a bag that doesn't have a brand.
Okay.
But it doesn't bother me. Younger days, I was programmed in my mind saying that, oh, you should carry that kind of bag. It will be really good for you. Or you should be wearing, for instance, like I wear this chappal today. I'm very happy with this chappal. But there was a day when I was told like, oh, Ani, you shouldn't be wearing this kind of chappal. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. So I was pretty much trying to be designed. My lifestyle was almost was being designed by somebody else. So now today I'm growing to become a little wiser. So I don't want to be controlled by the others.
What are the teachings of Buddha you will definitely tell others to follow?
Well, you have to be skillful according to the time, place, and people. But the most important thing is to be kind and thoughtful. That's what I live by. I'm not a very highly learned person. I'm not a very highly academic person, really. But all I understand is, and I agree to, is that simple, teaching that I really follow.
What do you believe? Is there any bigger purpose in life than what we think? Sometimes what is going in our life, we think this is the purpose of life. A lot of people say, oh, being a good actor, this thing is a purpose of life. But sometimes people say there's a bigger purpose in your life. You have to find that. But how to find it? Some people find it spirituality. Some people find it.
The relevance of what you consider as the purpose, I think it's up to individual to define what does that really mean to you, really. But the biggest purpose is one day to leave this body. But when you leave this body, We always make sure that we're not leaving it with a painful way, physically not very painful and suffocating. And your mind should be light.
Do you know why I asked this question? Wherever you go, like in India, if you'll be some people to be a very Sanatani, then you go to Muslim. This is find this purpose that this is your life and you have to be on that trail. But why can't people choose by their own?
Of course they can. Nobody can. Nobody is allowed to force anyone into anything. That is basic human rights, right? Nobody is allowed to torture anyone to become something according to their desire. But then some people, I don't know if they're courageous enough to really understand what they really want in their life. They feel more comfortable with life when they're told how they should be living. They love following it, and somebody designing their way of life. They feel comfortable and they feel like, oh, I'm on the right track. But of course, at the same time, having said that, I don't mean like you don't need someone like a Guruji. In my life, my Guruji has been the biggest shining light on my very ignorant, dark path, right? To see things more clearly, to become more of an open heart, with a clearer mind. So through which I could see things more clearly and I could understand things better. For instance, when I said my father, though he behaved in such a brutal way, those violence was definitely not what I really desired for. But when I understood what he went through, I felt sorry for him, because at the same time, I also have gratitude for what he did for me. Not only giving this very precious human life, but, gathering all the means to feed us, to protect us. So all these efforts that he has made, in spite of the fact that what he was going through was very, very hard. To live with the trauma, it's not really easy, as you can understand that.
But it will be both different perspective. Yours is yours. Your mother's perception will be very different.
True, very true. But then I was really unhappy to live with that memory. When having said the memory, I still have the memory, but I don't have the anger towards it. I don't have that resistance towards that emotion or the memory of those days. On the contrary, I felt sorry for my father, and I felt so much of compassion, so much love for him, and so much of gratitude towards him. And I really felt like, oh, I should help him. Because with the help of my teacher, my Guruji, I felt light. I really felt light, and I really realized what I really like. And what I should give is what I really like. And I realized I have that within me. That is love. I realized my father was actually suffering with what do you call in modern term? Bipolar disorder. Yes. It's a disease. It can be cured, right?
Yeah.
So when somebody's suffering with a disease, he's not a subject of punishment. He's subject of kindness.
It will be a very tricky question for you. So if you'll talk about that subject of it's not in someone's control, so then you must have heard the news of Pahalgaon, Kashmir. Recently came. There's a terrorist attack came. So I'm just saying, then what about them?
Yeah. It's very unfortunate that some people are driven by so much of ignorance, and
Then we have to forget them also.
they are a victim of their own ignorance. It's so sad that they have such a karma to do such a unacceptable deed. Imagine how much of suffering they must be going through in order to cause that suffering. People only give what they have, isn't it?
But how to cure it?
Well, only love, only understanding. What is wrong is to infuse these ignorance and what do you call it, the misconception in people's mind who are vulnerable. Only people, let's say people like you and me, who has been through a lot of violence, somewhere down the line, we are also very angry about it. And people like us, when we are very vulnerable emotionally, when somebody who's also there, who's capable of, influencing so much of hatred within you, it is almost like pouring more kerosene in the fire. It's going to burn more. It's not going to, subside the fire, right? So answer to that, violence is only love, really. Because ultimately, we as a human being, our innate quality is compassion, kindness. The moment we are conceived in our mother's womb, we are nurtured with all the love and compassion from the mother. So our innate quality is love. Innate quality is compassion. We are all driven by love. Even those terrorists are driven by love, but for oneself, thinking that I'm giving justice to what has happened to me by, killing them. Love is not bad. The way you express your love, whether that is for oneself or the others, can be wrong. When it causes damages in people's life or your own life, the consequence of that terrorism is not going to be pleasant. That is for clear, right? So whatever brings wrong result in your life is considered wrong.
How do you see money?
Money is just a money, you use as a tool, like a camera. What is the purpose of a camera? To take picture. Money is to be used in order to materialize certain needs that are there, basic needs, right? Money is not bad, really. It would be funny or not nice to say that a Buddhist not saying, I love money. Maybe it's not a right expression that people would not love to hear that, but money has helped me a lot in order to really do what I really like to do. As from very childhood time, I always had the idea that why women are, or the girls are considered less capable than men are, or less important than men are. And in order to really stand up against that, money has helped me in educating girls. Money has helped me to help someone to get medication when they're in difficulties. So those are the things that I really enjoy doing, because I know how it feels when somebody comes to in your life when you are in need of certain help. And sometimes money helps you to really experience that. For that purpose, it's fine. But then when money is not utilized properly, then when it's considered bad, because it invokes greed in people, not only for yourself. For instance, I have some money. Just having that money, I can invoke some greed in your heart, right? And sometimes greed is considered bad because greed actually leads towards finding ways how I can get that money right on the wrong way. So sometimes these procedures actually brings the wrong result, I think. So yeah, for me, money is fine, It's not a subject to be defined as a right or wrong. It is as it is. So it's an energy.
I was reading when I was researching about you that you're not a singer, you're an accidental singer.
Well, I love singing.
Yes, but it was someone called Steve Tibet. He was able to find you out. Okay. Yes. And you were singing by yourself.
Well, in the monasteries, when we perform ritual ceremonies, pujas, we perform them with beautiful melodies, with certain musical instruments. Like in Hindu also, bhajan kirtans are done with the dholak and all the other instruments and everything, right? With the tali and so on. Similarly, we do that as well. We have melodies to perform them. So the melodies that I learned from my Guruji, they were so beautiful. And then I always made an extra effort to make it sound more beautiful. So I think he heard that and he wanted to record it. But I had no idea that he was going to come out with it proposal to make an album out of it. So which came, and I happily accepted that. I was open to very new experiences in life and ideas and, experiences.
I've heard that we were discussing, I don't know is it true or not, but I got to know that your voice is getting researched in Germany.
No, some Russian scientists came and they've been following me and they've been coming.
You can heal people, if I'm not wrong.
Well, that's what the audiences claim. I never claimed that. It's, but the audiences, whoever listens to my music, came back to me with the feedback that how they experienced the effect of listening to my music.
And what was your reaction?
I deeply rejoice. I'm really, really grateful for that, because it gives me immense joy to realize that my life is meaningful. What I'm trying to do or what I enjoy doing is something that brings joy in others' life. So I feel like I have a very good meaning of my existence on this earth. Yeah. It keeps me happy. It keeps the others happy. So, yeah, it's a good deal, isn't it?
So you always mention in all your talks about your guru. What is the things you learn from him? Which is it necessary to have a guru?
It's good to have a coach. Life coach. Like athletes, they have coach. Coach probably, I had the best coach, I couldn't say.
But sometimes coaches can mislead also.
Well, it depends. The idea of a coach itself is to bring, who knows your capacity, ability within you, the potential that you carry, and to bring it out in the best manner is possible. And the coach will guide you through how you can do that in a proper way, right? And then to push you towards more consistency of your training and so on. So same way, Gurujis are there in our life as a coach. They cannot give us the success or give us the enlightenment. They can help you to show the path where you have to walk yourself on that path to achieve what you want. Like, right? An athlete, coach can just train you, but you have to play the game, and you are the person who will experience the victory if you give the right effort.
Even the people who do wrongful in the society follow some gurus. Like, yes. But sometimes they are very naive, whatever taught to them, they follow that this is a path. Like we talked about this terrorist thing also. So how to one can figure out which is the right road to go and the wrong road to go?
Whatever makes you feel more joyful, whatever helps you to become more kind, whatever gives you more strength and courage in doing something that is more meaningful, then you have a good coach in life.
Do you think for them it's also a perception? Your perception is to a right, their perception to a wrong?
Well, that's true. The terrorist perception towards the right thing, what they did, maybe probably what they believed in doing right, maybe by killing the people. But it's a collective understanding is that's wrong. Right? How nature functions is totally different from what they believed in. Nature has its own process of, experiencing its destruction or dissolution. As we are born, someday we have to die.
Exactly.
No matter how strongly we believe that death is not something you can accept. It's inevitable. But we cannot accept the murder. Even though death is relevant, inevitable. It has to follow the natural process. So that's why certain activities are considered not acceptable.
Why you thought of writing a book with so much of your personal life to the public, to open to public?
To be honest, I didn't write the book because I wanted to tell my story. I was actually forced to tell my story.
Forced to tell his story?
I was very much tempted by the money that they offered. Really, I'm telling the truth. It was around the time when I really wanted to establish a better medical facilities for people who are suffering with kidney failure. Because my precious mother was suffering with this disease. And I was feeling very helpless. And a lot of the services were not available in Nepal, the medical services, in order to help her. And it was not only my mother that was suffering. There was many others who were suffering. And I got to realize about such disease only from my mother. Before that, I had no idea that there's such disease exists, which is called renal failure. And dialysis was the only option at that time in Nepal, and that also was very expensive. We didn't have kidney transplant service in Nepal. When I realized all those things, that made me feel like, oh, maybe I'm blessed with this experience in order to realize that I should do something about it, which helped me to come up with the idea that I really want to do something about it, at least bring in or establish or start some facility services for people who are in need, because it's very difficult for people, especially suffering with the financial,
Yes.
resources. It's really hard for them. It was very painful to see other people, so many people. I mean, my mother was still in far much better condition because I was there. I really loved her so much, and I would have done anything to save her life. But the other people were so much in pain. They do have once the dialysis, then as soon as they have a little bit of relief from that pain, and immediately they are suffering with the fear and anxiety because they don't know how they will gather the money for the next dialysis. So then I took that experience not as a suffering, but as maybe a sign for me to think about it, which I did. So I talked to the doctors, I said, the nephrologist, and I said, look, let's do something about it. Tell me what we can do. All I can do is just bring in money. You are from the medical background. You do the work. I'll bring in money. So I started gathering money. But then, of course, I wanted to give away really good amount of money, sufficient amount of money for them to really be able to start something. So, but then I was thinking about it, but then nothing was coming around besides my singing, which I already have been doing it for a long time. But at the same time, I was running a school for girls. So at the meantime, this proposal came about a book.
No, that's our book.
Because the Elle magazine, do you know that Elle magazine? ELLEL.
Oh,
Yeah. Elle magazine from Paris wanted to do a feature on me. So a group of people from their magazine came to Nepal. They followed me around for about a week. And they wrote an article on me, and that article was read by this publishing company in France. So they were very interested in me. And they approached the ambassador here in Nepal, the French ambassador who was in Nepal. And they knew me, so they approached me. They told me that somebody in France is interested in your book, in your life story. They want to write a book about me. But then immediate response to that in my mind was, nah, come on, why would I write a book about my life? There's nothing special about me. I mean, I'm not even a learned person. I don't have much wisdom. I haven't lived my life fully yet. I'm too young for a book. I have nothing to offer. That's what my idea was. So I said, I'm sorry. Thank you, but I'm not interested for a book. But then they kept on pushing me for a book. Even they pursued the ambassador here to push me for a book. So I somehow tried to escape. I tried to escape this pushing. But one day, I was I had a meeting with the doctor, and we came to a point of like, we need certain amount of money to start the project. I said, okay, now I'm going to work on it. And then the same day, I was invited for a lunch at the French embassy. from that hospital meeting to the embassy, there I realized, oh my God, my invisible entourage has been working on this. But I didn't realize. Oh, maybe I can ask for money for this. Oh, no. The story goes back. I'm sorry it's getting long, but I was once in Paris and they insisted on meeting me, but somehow I felt like, what's the point of meeting them when I know that I'm not going to do the book? But then they insisted, so I met them. So that time, in order to make me say yes to this project, the director of that publishing company, just before I just left the door, get out of, Ani, if you agree to this project now, if you sign the contract now, I'll offer you $30,000.
$30,000.
Yes. Ding, ding. I said, oh my God, somebody would pay that much of money? So I said, but I was happy, but I was not ready for the book. I said, I will think about it. And then when I came back, I had this meeting and then I was going for the lunch. And then in between the time, I realized, oh my God, this is all happening for this purpose, this project. Then I became a little bit greedy. By the time I met the ambassador, I said, Your Excellency, now I'm ready for the project and I know why it has to happen. Then I was invited to France. I had the meeting with the director. I became greedy. I said, look, the only reason that I'm coming back here to say yes to you is for some very, very good purpose. But I want you to raise the amount. So he said, how about 40,000 euro? And I immediately calculated in my mind that was a little more than 50,000 because in my mind, I was kind of thinking if they offer 50,000 US dollar, I'll be happy. Because it's 50,000 amount, if I can offer for the project, that would be nice. So it was more than $50,000. So I agreed to the book.
So you agree that money can change people?
Yes. My intention was...
But only intentions matter, right?
Right intention, yes.
But I will not agree to this if you will say that a lot of people must come for advice that we are going to this sorrow and this thing. But you don't go with such things.
Sorry?
A lot of people must be thinking, oh, she's a nun and she's enlightened person now. But I am sure that you also go through pain sometime.
Yeah, I'm a human being too, When
Sometimes
somebody
people-
accuses me of something that it's not right, probably but I don't resist to it nowadays. I love this song, Hindi song, Kuch to log kahenge. Logon ka kaam hai kehna. So that song has helped me a lot. Who are you? Even Sita Mata has been, criticized and,
we have to see the bigger picture and everything.
True. And then of course, now I'm at a stage of life where my realization is such that when we are really squeezed, the juices comes out, what is in you, right?
Right.
The difficulties, the challenges, pains really brings the most beautiful creativity out of you because you will look for survival. When you look for survival, the challenge, when in the midst of challenges, then you become you become so creative.
Right.
And until and unless you're squeezed, you will not look for the alternatives because your survival instinct will not become intensively serious. The more the pain is intensive, the more you will really look for the alternative, to escape or to be out of the pain. So this is what the life is about. And I think especially if you are growing older and older, spirituality is the surrenderance that you can have in order to make you feel relaxed because it helps you to see things as it is. Otherwise, we are so entangled in our fantasies.
I really love the line you just now said about Rumi.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that? It was very beautiful. And he explained it really well.
Well, did I?
Rumi. Yeah, you mentioned Rumi.
Oh, yeah, Rumi, yes.
Yeah.
Before I was clever. I wanted to change the world. But now I'm wise. I'm wiser or wise. I want to change myself. Beautiful. Yeah, it is so beautiful. I mean, yeah, words of wisdom.
Yes. So if when you sing, what you sing is it's for the money or it's for your, because you said you love the money at the same
Well, I
time.
think money is byproduct for me now. It's there, whether I like it or not. It's there. But then singing is becoming more and more of a subject of giving me sense of joy, fulfillment, because more and more listeners are coming back with the feedback thing, saying that it has really, really made impact in their life to be more, you know.
I was wondering what is the difference between being in your school in the nun life or being in the modern world. I think both education are
We're
similar.
in one world, so it doesn't matter where you are, I think. But yeah, I'm a little bit of a rebellious character in our society, in our very conservative society, especially. Being a Buddhist nun, and especially being a nun, a woman, a nun. First, let's say a woman
Yes.
who is also a
None.
nun
You will be the right.
and singing, traveling around the world, living a life of a celebrity, making
Driving-
money,
Driving
and
Range
yeah.
Rover.
Yes, well, that's the thing.
Yes.
It's okay.
So don't you feel that it's a different one world, two places? Being
No, I don't
No.
feel that. As I said earlier, I'm a very rebellious character, and especially nowadays, I'm more relaxed because of the menopause. I feel like I don't give a damn about what people think about me. It's my life. I have to make sure that my life is lived by my terms and that is meaningful. And I don't need to take other people's shits.
So do you think that it's more of a look like there is a podcast question, but I honestly believe on this thing also. Do you think that everything happens and destiny is already planned and everything happens for a reason?
Well, I mean, let's say the 4 season happens as it has to happen. Day happens as it has to happen. Night happens as it has to happen. But then it's all up to us how we make best use out of those, things that are happening. Something that we are beyond control. So yeah, some people even though they don't like the dark night, but maybe some people has a very good idea for romantic candlelight dinner, right? With the loved ones. For some, it's very good sign for them to relax, go to sleep and relax. For some, that creates anxiety in their life, so it depends.
Maybe there'll be world full of, as you said, there are more people there who has seen domestic violence in the family, and I'm sure there must be many, and they want to make peace with the past. But were you able to meet your father and talk to him and come on the same page on everything? I got to know
Not only in same page.
I got to know that he said sorry to you before leaving.
He didn't use the word sorry, but I felt his feeling. Just the day before he stopped,
But how
he
can other
left this world. He took my hand. He was in hospital. He took my hand, but he took it onto his forehead and just did that. He said, "I'm a very lucky man. I had a daughter like you who became my mother. Our hisab kitab is barabar now."
But what's the point if we in the growing age and then on our last stage we realize things? Because realization should come in the early period of life.
Process of peace already started long before that. And see, some people are not capable of expressing their emotion in the right manner.
Agree.
But that doesn't mean that they don't have love for you. They don't know how to love you. See, problem in the world, some people might not be able to show their love in the best manner. Sometimes some people only understand the language of violence. or harsh words. But sometimes they mean love to you, but it sounds like they're not love. You know what I mean? Some people really want to show you love by scolding you. Well, but that's not a nice way to show their love to you. See, they don't know how to love you. That's the only problem. And especially nowadays in this very materialistic world, in the name of modernization, everything is evaluated through money. People are lacking love, enough love to show, or they are being programmed as if your love should become more transactional, which is the saddest thing to happen in humanity. Yeah.
Yes.
So lack of love is the problem, I think, on the earth, where a lot of misunderstanding and mistrust and unsettled mind are being taking place.
Let's see that if I have to see through your glass to this world. Yes, your lens to this world. How it will appear.
Well, I'm at a stage of life where I feel like nothing to be blamed on anybody, you know. You have the freedom of choice to translate everything according to your ability to do the best. See, earlier when my mother suffered with the kidney disease, she suffered a lot. I could have really cried about it and then whine about it to the world and my mother. But then I was able to see that in a way that it's a symbolic experience that came to me to realize that I should be doing something about it. And I have the potential. I can make the effort to really do something at least. Try to do something at least. Instead of really like being sad and what do you call it, pathetic. I was actually encouraged more to think about it in a way that I should think about taking care of many others. So it was taken as more as an opportunity for me to do something that's gonna really give meaning to my existence. And I felt like at least I can try. So that's how I try. And today I run a free dialysis center.
Right.
Yeah. So today, every day, almost 100 people are served with free dialysis. See the power of love. Yeah. So instead of crying about my mother, losing my mother with this disease, how about I try to do something about it? So I love this line saying, instead of cursing the darkness, why not light a candle yourself? Yeah, this is my favorite line. And this is what I try to live by. Yeah. And I'm grateful, really.
You must have met people who are filthy rich and their action shows that they have achieved something in their life, and I've met thousands of people, many people who's you can sense from the personality that there's something in their head that they have done something big in their life. If the true reality is
I'm
that
not so sure.
again, that's
They might try to validate their achievement up to certain point of status, but I'm quite sure they're suffering with certain hollowness in the heart. They feel somewhere they're feeling lonely. Somewhere they're infused with more fear, insecurity. Yeah. So I don't know exactly if they're really feeling the sense of success.
I was coming to that is most of the people know that there'll be the day everything will be here only and we have to go and depart from this world. But during this life, you have to earn money, have certain status, and this thing come to your head. So I don't think so. It's easy to always remind yourself that, okay, someday we have to go from this world. We don't have to be greedy, this thing. Because at the end of the day, again, it's a human in life and it requires running an effort to survive in this world.
There's nothing wrong in that, I think. But the only wrong is when you are driven by your misconception. that very deceiving idea of, having to earn a lot of money, that will not finish forever. And that is only if that probably would be relevant if only you have the confidence that you'll be living forever, isn't it? So I think in the name of earning money, because someday you will live a happy life. Oh, I will have fun. But then you miss the chance. And then by the time you miss the chance, then it's too late to go back. Look at Steve Jobs.
Yes.
He's the biggest example, really. It's not that he wasn't smart, but he just thought he had so much time. That's the biggest delusion that people live in, right? We have limited time. So I think that's very important to think about. But then that should not become the subject to make you feel depressed.
Okay.
So for example, you go to America, you have a certain period of visa. You make sure that you do everything best within that short period of time and then prepare yourself to leave back for India, right? And then also you have to make sure that your luggages are not overweight to avoid certain problems, so that if you can travel light, even best, right? But then you want to make sure that, oh, I carry enough gifts for so and so, so and so, and so and so, so on. You want to make sure that you don't miss anything, because you will be, you're allowed to be there for a very limited time. That helps. And similarly, on this earth, with this physical body, we also are with a very limited time.
Why, when we chant those mantras which we chant, what is there in it? What do you say?
Well, it's a syllable that we chant, which produces certain sound that invokes certain energy, vibration, frequency, whatever you call it. And it has the ability to make an impact. So everything is frequency.
What if we tell in words, what is the exact words we say?
We have various different kind of mantra for different purpose. Compassion Buddha mantra, or we even have a Kubera mantra,
For money?
Yes. Dhan, fortune. See, that's why money is not bad. Really. Idea of money is not bad. But how we use the money is going to define what is bad and not bad. If it does kalyan to everyone, including oneself, then it's the most beautiful thing to happen.
But Buddha to left everything behind.
Yeah,
and
that's what
went for begging. And
yeah, he tried that out. He tried that out too. Yeah.
but not many.
He tried to see the relevance of the wealth and the luxury that he was so much in this. But when he realized that is not going to help him escape from death, old age, sickness, then he went to look for what is it that really can help us to free ourselves from that fear of death, sickness, old age. So he went on a research mission.
Mission, yes.
Yes. So he found out what was the cause of suffering. So he realized there is suffering. And then he also realized there is a cause of suffering, causes of suffering. And he also realized there is a what do you call it? Method or antidote to suffering. We can be free from suffering. There is a path that you can walk on in order to be free from suffering.
Path of letting go.
Yeah, I mean, letting go, whatever you call it, you free yourself from that fear. Suffering, as you call it.
Second last question. It's going to be very interesting for you. So see, there was a time when you got introduced to being a nun, because there was the thing that you always wanted to be escape, and then you introduced to spirituality. But now it's your conscious choice also at the same time. So why don't, see, as a human being, we evolve, right? Why don't now you think of trying Sanatan Dharma, Muslims, any other thing? It not should be pressurized. I'm just saying, of course, conscious choices with the conscious choice. Why you never thought of trying something else?
It's not that I was never distracted. See, I'm physically, and psychologically same as everybody else.
Yes, right. Really.
So at certain age, reproductive organs are active, curiosities are there, fantasies are there, as according to the procedures of the biological procedures that you have to go through. As today I'm going through menopause, that's also biological procedure that I'm going through. So there was time, of course. I got distracted. I even fantasized and so on. But I realized one thing, I can't afford it. Because there are certain things that I really, really feel good about. I cannot sacrifice. So that's why.
Last question. If you would like to sing for us, if not, then also you're completely
Well,
conscious
I
that-
don't mind singing.
Yes. It will not make a costly podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's one song that is most popular in Nepali, but my forte is people around the world, like especially internationally, people really enjoys my mantra singing, which is actually done through meditational process. Even though I sing some songs in Nepali, I never really sing out of the mindset of as if I'm becoming a singer. I always have a purpose in my mind. Yeah. Why am I singing? For what I'm singing? So these are very, very important things to be clear in mind. Not just simply because I love singing, that's it there. I do enjoy, but I have a purpose, even for giving concerts, traveling around the world. And yeah. So there's a very popular song called Pulko Akama. Recently, Gulzar Saab actually translated that song into Hindi as well.
Oh.
So it says, Pulko Akama Pulai Sansara. काँडाको आँखामा काँडै संसार झुल्किन्छ छाया वस्तु अनुसार. What it is trying to say is how it says in the eyes of a flower the world appears as flower, in the eyes of a thorn the world appears as thorn, and according to your understanding capacity judgment takes place. And the most beautiful part of this song says, all of them are very beautiful. One of the antara says, चित्त शुद्ध होस् मेरो बोली बुद्ध होस् मेरो पैतालाले किरै नमरोस्. What it says is, may my heart always be pure, may my words always be words of wisdom, may the sole of my feet never kill an insect, which means to avoid violence. And there's one very beautiful antara that I really feel like I want to share with you, because especially because you and I, we both came from a very violent, this domestic violence or something like that, which addresses our issue. Discrimination is bad, or violence, whatever you call it. Discrimination itself is violence. Discrimination is bad. I will renounce it by all means, but to the discriminator, I will treat with love. In a beautiful eyes, the world always appears as beautiful. So that has been, I remember two lines that Gulzar Saab has translated. फूलों की आँखों में संसार महकने लगते हैं, कांटों के आँखों में संसार चुभने लगते हैं. So this was this song. So this is a very beautiful song. It's a song that actually made me a pop star. So I will sing few lines from this. So whoever in India listening to this song, I hope you will enjoy. Bai khara bahu फाल्छु लडेर बैरीलाई हेर्छु म माया गरेर बैरीलाई हेर्छु म माया गरेर मायालुको मायै संसार काँडाको आँखामा काँडै संसार फुलको आँखामा फुलै संसार काँडाको आँखामा काँडै संसार झुल्किन्छ है छाया वस्तु अनुसार काँडाको आँखामा काँडै संसार चित्त शुद्ध होस् मेरो बोली बुद्ध होस् मेरो पैतालाले किरै नमरोस् राम्रो आँखामा खुल्छ राम्रै संसार काँडाको आँखामा काँडै संसार फुलको आँखामा फुलै संसार काँडाको आँखामा काँडै संसार
Witnessing life, the singing nun.
Yeah, I'll send you the invoice.
The most costliest podcast that we have ever done. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on our show. Thank you so much.